Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Escape to Nature. And we are starting off at Kudu Waterhole with a lovely dazzle of zebra who are coming down for a bit of a drink. My name is Ben, and I don't have a camera with me today. I have camera feeds, which is still a little bit unusual, still getting used to it, but it's fantastic to be back again. Looking forward to seeing what comes down to join us at the two waterholes between here and Juma. And of course, this is a live and interactive safari experience, which we cannot do without you and your assistance. So please don't forget to send us any questions or comments or anything else you'd like to know about. You can do that by downloading our app and registering. And if you are using the YouTube channel, of course, don't forget to subscribe so that we can keep you up to date in all the new great content that we are producing. But what a lovely way to start the day. Looks like a relatively clear skies there in Okaukuejo, as one would expect. A few light clouds in the background and a hive of activity as always, say with the waterhole being dominated at the moment by some zebra. But we've got some springboks going in for a paddle. I think there's one or two impalas making their way down to the water as well. I have had a good sort of look around and I haven't found anything else yet that's come to join us. We did have a little cameo from some elephants yesterday during Escape to Nature and some kudus. Mere higher than you would think, that's for sure. You take a look at those little legs, but they've got very elasticated ligaments in there. And they can easily clear sort of a 2.5 to 3 meter fence from a standing start. Some of nature's ultimate high jumpers, those and the eland as well, well known for having a spring in their step. So a good 3 meters for a big bull, which is pretty impressive if you think about it.
Who's 8. Let's have a look at this blue wildebeest here. So you're saying, why does he have a bump on his back? That is just sort of where a lot of his muscles come together for the front legs. So it does make that little bump, and it's also the connection of its neck sort of to its back. So it can lift its head up, you see there? And then it drops it down as well as it walks. But it does, it's actually just there because of the extra muscles that they have on that part of its body. Thanks for your question and jumping on board with us. So this male now has gone over to his midden, which, like I said, is not too far from the blesbok's midden, and you'll see there scratching. So he might also horn it. There we go. So he's marking it. He's got glands between his toes as well as between his horns, and he's got a gland below his eye as well on both sides. So he's marking the ground there and then lying in it as well. He also defecates and urinates on that spot. And because of all the hoofing and scratching that he does on the ground, it's normally an open patch. So, and with the dung that he drops there, it normally makes it quite soft for him too. So I think it's quite nice and comfortable. It also does then make it easy for him to transport his smell all around his territory. So Ali, there is a decent sized population of buffalo in the Eastern Cape, and there's also a lot of private farmers of them as well, because these particular buffalo are naturally disease free. So there was a big boom in the price of disease-free buffalo in the last 10 years or so. It has subsequently dropped, but as a result of the big boom in the price, there was a massive increase in the farming of them. So there's actually an excess number of buffalo in the Eastern Cape. And I know on Amakhala they actually kept them isolated from the main reserve, their population of buffalo, because they were so valuable, they didn't want any of the lions eating them. Subsequently the price dropped, and then they actually opened that gate under the N2 the road where it runs from the Northern Territories to the main reserve, and they let the buffalo through so that they could be part of the main reserve and be, and allow them to be part of the game drives, etc. But prior to that, they actually kept them isolated in the Northern Territories. And when these private reserves, when they do farm animals like that, they may use it for funding a lot of the activities that need to take place on a private reserve, from fixing of fences, from paying staff. They could also sell some buffalo and maybe buy some other animals. It could allow them to get more predators because they'd be able to afford more prey species, etc. So a lot of the private reserves do have a breeding side to things.
Often we speak about how cheetahs haven't been known to scavenge, although there's been a recent, I'm not sure if it was a safari vehicles or guides, I'm not sure who saw this, I just read a small article, but it was seen that the cheetahs, also a coalition, were trying to chase spotted hyenas off of a carcass and were seen eating a few mouthfuls. So it does seem like a bit more research needs to be done, and there's obviously new evidence showing that cheetahs may scavenge. But if you listen to most of the naturalists and you read most of the books we read, they describe cheetahs to be non-scavenging animals. I think from what we've seen on this new evidence, I think probably they would scavenge, but very rarely. And that's why it hasn't been recorded yet until this incident took place. Now, what's interesting is in this area, of course, myself and Morgan, we were looking for them this morning. So we've been weaving through a lot of the roads out here, and we found lots of animals that are, that can be hunted by these cheetah. There's springbuck and red hartebeest, there's a blessbuck, there's a wildebeest calf. So who knows, in the next few days, maybe even today, you never know, perhaps these cheetahs are going to catch something. And they've been very successful over the last few months that they have been on Amakhala, catching all sorts of big animals as well as small animals. And so we are heading towards the end of Escape to Nature now. I hope you all had a good time with us. It was lovely having you all on board and exploring Amakhala Game Reserve with you all. It's been an absolute pleasure. Don't forget that Sunset Safari will follow at about 2:30 on Central African time, and we will be out. So we'll see you then, and we will try and follow up on meerkats later on this afternoon when the sun is going down. Until then, you must all have a good day, and we'll see you in a short bit. Cheerio. Bye-bye.